In my last crackle experiment, I created an incredible crackle effect in resin, but today I'm taking it one step further. Will it work inside a frog, or am I about to waste a whole lot of resin? There's only one way to find out, so let's give it a go. Before we get started, I wanted to add the frog's eyes. So these are 5mm glass cabochon eyes, and I've already marked which way the pupils need to face, because trust me, if you don't do that, you'll have one eye looking at you and the other eye looking for flies. So I'm attaching these with a little drop of UV resin and one quick cure, and I'll repeat the same process with the other eye. So my first attempt, I'm using the Diction 4-hour Demould resin. The one thing I've noticed is that this technique works far better with thicker resin, so this 4-hour Demould is perfect. Once my resin is mixed, I've split it into 3 cups. Personally, I found the biggest secret behind this technique is combining transparent resin with heavier opaque pigments. So for my transparent, I'm using some green resin dye, and for my heavier layer, it's this green metallic pigment paste. Because pigment paste tends to settle at the bottom of the tub, I'm giving it a quick stir before mixing it into my resin. Then for my lighter layer, I'm using some pearl white mica powder. Now that I've got all my colours mixed up, it's time to pour. Hi, I'm Tony and welcome to Georgie's Gorgeous Gifts, and today's video is part of the Froggy Friday collaboration, so hop on over to the full playlist, which is linked below in the description. Right, for this first frog, I'm following exactly the same layering technique that I used in my Crackle Coaster video linked above, but the order that you pour is really important. So in goes the first layer, which is the transparent green, followed by my heavier metallic green pigment, and then the white mica. After that, I added another layer of the transparent green, followed by my white mica again, and then one more layer of the metallic heavy green pigment, finishing it all off with one clear push. But rather than staying where I poured it, everything started to flow into its legs, so whether that's going to make a difference, I've got no clue. But now all that's left to do is wait and hope that the resin does exactly what it's supposed to. So after about 10 minutes, the resin had a chance to pull in on itself, so I'm bursting any bubbles with my long nose lighter. And rather than waste any of the leftover resin, I'm pouring 3 small discs. Only one of these have been poured in exactly the same order as the frog. The other 2 were just made with whatever resin I had left in the cups, so if the crackle works well on the correct test disc, but not on the frog, we'll know it's the shape of the mould that has affected the result, and not the colours or the technique. Now that the first layer on the frog is fully cured, the top actually looks like it's supposed to, but it really is the other side that matters. So before I do the backing layer, let's see if the test pieces can tell us anything. Right, now the first disc was the one that was poured in the same order as the frog, and this one has worked beautifully. It's got a really nice crackle effect running all the way through it. The other 2 have a little bit of a crackle, but I really wasn't expecting much from these, as these were made with the leftover resin, so either they had too much clear, or they weren't poured in the correct order. So the biggest thing that this tells me is that the pouring order really does make a difference. And of course, I couldn't help peeking through the mould, and I can see what seems to be a crackle effect. I don't want to get too excited just yet, because I still had the agonising choice of what colour to backfill it with. So after spending way too long choosing a colour, I finally settled on black and green. So first off, I'm adding some Black Tea Expert pigment paste to my newly mixed resin, and to try and give it a metallic finish, I'm adding this green to gold mica powder. But the green really wasn't showing through. So let's just whack another load in and see if that helps. But once I'd give this a good mix, it still wasn't dark enough. So in goes a load of darker green mica. Well, why not? Hoping that this time you could actually see the green coming through, I eventually managed to get the colour that I was happy with. All I had to do now was to fill up the mould all the way to the top, making sure to use my silicone tool to work into all those little tiny toes and fingers. There's nothing worse than demoulding a frog with missing toes. Now I really can't tell you how eager I was to demould this, so even though it was 32 degrees outside, I still popped it into my G3 curing machine, and after only an hour, it was ready. So if you've seen any of my previous Froggy Friday videos, you'll know that I'm a bit obsessive when it comes to demoulding these frogs. I swear, these tiny little toes have a personal vendetta against me. And when I finally turned it over, I wasn't too sure whether it was a success or not. The crackle effect had definitely started to happen, and you can see it in places, but it's not as strong as I'd hoped for. Looking at it now, I think I was a little bit too cautious with the transparent resin dye. With the transparent layer only being shallow, it hasn't worked as well as I'd hoped. But the good news is, we're learning something, which means it's time to make a few changes and give it another go. Hopefully this time we'll end up with a much better result. So for the second frog, my plan is to only change a few things. The first thing is the resin I'm using. So I've changed over to the J Diction 1:1 high gloss resin. And before I start pouring, it goes into my degassing chamber to remove as many bubbles as possible. So as you can see, I've already added the eyes. And my second change is my choice of pigment, returning to my old trusty colours. First off, I'm using this navy blue resin dye as my transparent layer. But before committing to my colour, I like to test it on a white baby wipe. I found this is the simplest way to see what colour it'll actually look like when it's spread out. So I need it to be relatively dark but still transparent. So after adding a few more drops, it was exactly the right colour. The other change is instead of using a pigment paste, I'm using some gold mica as my heavy layer because gold is naturally one of the heavier mica powders. And for my lighter layer, I'm using the same pearl white mica powder as before. As always, the links to everything I'm using is in the description below along with a load of discount codes for you to enjoy. Now that we have our colours, let's see if attempt number 2 gives us the crackle effect we're looking for. Only this time I'm starting off with a much deeper layer of the transparent blue, and instead of only pouring it into the body, I'm also making sure to drop a little bit into the legs as well. I hope this is going to encourage a lot more noticeable crackle effect. So now that we've got our base layer down, it's time for the puddle pour, and just like before, I'm starting with the transparent blue, followed by my heavy gold pigment, beginning in the centre of the belly and adding a small drop into each of the legs. So next comes the pearl white, following exactly the same pattern. And from there, I continue building up the layers, adding another transparent blue, another pearl white, before finishing it off with the final layer of my heavy gold. And lastly, my clear push. It's this clear layer that helps the final crackle effect to form. So at this point, the frog is just over halfway full. And now all we can do is sit back, let the resin settle and see if these changes have made a difference. Fingers crossed. So obviously I had to take a quick peek through the mould and I was really quite excited about the results. But before I could demould it, I'm backfilling it with some of this beautiful blue pigment paste. Then it's just a case once again of filling the rest of the mould, making sure that the resin reaches all those little tiny toes again. With the help of my trusty silicone tool, once everything is nicely filled, it's time to leave it alone to fully cure and hope the second time really is the charm. So obviously back into the G3 it goes, and once it was fully cured, let's get this out the mould to see if attempt number 2 has paid off. And although I could see through the mould, I really wasn't expecting this result, so I would call this a massive improvement. So I love the crackle effect that is much more noticeable, particularly around his head and back. I think by adding that deeper first layer, it's helped to create that crackle effect throughout much more of the frog. And okay, it might not be the crackle effect I was hoping for, but it's certainly heading in the right direction. Let me know in the comments which one's your favourite. So time to compare the two, and I'd say that the second one is the clear winner. And even though we've got that slight crackle effect in the green one, it's much more defined in the second frog. Not quite the same as my coasters, mind you, which tells me that the shape of the mould really does make a difference. But all in all, I'd say this has been a really successful experiment. So if you've enjoyed this video and would like to support my channel further, you'll find my Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee links in the description. So all that's left is for me to leave you with some glamour pictures. I've been Tony from Georgie's Gorgeous Gifts. Stay safe, happy crafting, and bye for now. Beauties and tiny toes.